So the Lord had shown me a vision of Pastor John pinning me down, literally. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't feel my body. I couldn't talk. I couldn't say anything. And in the vision, he was wearing a regalia. And a regalia, almost like those, those brigades or those, I don't know what you call them, but those soldier like uniforms or something like that. And we talking about the guards of the Queen, and that being the Queen Elizabeth, and they wear these red blazers, and a very beautiful regalia, right, with the black pants, and he was wearing that, and he looked very priestly. However, when he turned his face and looked at me, his face was completely black. And I know that this is not the only prophetic vision that has been given to anyone. If you look into YouTube, you'll find another one. But his face was completely black. He became a werewolf, right? He became a wolf. It was so scary. He became a wolf, and hair started growing out of his face, and these fangs, that long teeth started coming out, and he opened his mouth. And when he opened his mouth and he looked at me, he began to suck all the energy and strength out of me. I don't know how to describe it, but he sucked every muscle, every whatever you call it, every bone, every part of my face, literally, and I became skeleton. And as he did that, his face began to form, and he became more human. And I had to ask God, what was the understanding of that dream? Because I believe that the Lord is saying that this is what is happening to His church. I was just a symbol of what is happening inside His church. John Anosike. I'm talking about Pastor John Anosike. By the way, if this video is not linked to the other one, this is my channel, Deep Mysteries of the Spirit. Please subscribe, share. This is the vision that I'm sharing to you about Pastor John Anosike from Cape Town. I believe he is based. Be careful. And what God showed me, and God was telling me, is that this man is sucking. The powers is not of God. It's not from God. If you listen to most of his, when he talks in tongues, there is one thing he likes to say, and that is Shahida. So he's always saying Shahida, if you know that. And that is an Islamic word, right? It's an Islamic word. And if you go and research and find out what Shahida means a copy, a duplicate. All right. So ask yourself, who is this true copy that he's talking about when he's screaming to the heavens and he's saying Shahida? Who is Shahida? And they say that Shahida also is linked to lucky number 7. And lucky number 7 means omen. It's an omen. When you call it, when you say the name Shahida, it's an omen of good opportunities, money that will come to you, right? That's what happens when you call Shahida. It's a good omen. It's opportunities, money. That's what it means. Negatively, it means depression. It means mental distortion. It means turmoil. It means pride. It means self-righteousness. It means Um, you know, I don't know what else I can say, but it's pride. So why is he calling this name Shahida? And the churches, his church, they're also starting to say Shahida when they pray. And if you look at them rolling their eyes, that is not of God. That is not of God. This pastor is also known to believe in and also meditate a lot in and practice the teachings of the book of Enoch, which is not being included in the Bible. But we know that the book of Enoch talks about, obviously, supernatural, anything, supernatural abilities. It talks about the extraterrestrial world. It talks about different realms and powers and how we are gods and we're all those things. Why the book of Enoch was omitted in the Bible, we don't know. There's reasons for that. But he believes himself to be a god. And that is why there is a video on YouTube where you find that there's a man who had prophesied that. He had spoken himself. He told that his church that he is an archangel. There are powers that he is getting from his God called Shahida. This God of his called Shahida is the God that is giving him powers. It's not the spirit, it's a copy. It's not the Spirit of God. You know, it doesn't mean if you are not Christian, you don't get powers. You won't operate and have powers to heal and powers to deliver. It happened in the story of, with Pharaoh. When God sent Moses to tell Pharaoh to let the people go, and he came with his magicians, and Moses had his own, demonstration of God's power, and they came with the musicians, and they did the exact same thing that Moses did. But we need to practice the spirit of discernment. He is draining the church. That is what God is saying. He is sucking the life from the church. Everything he does, the spirits that he calls upon the church, it is sucking their flesh. It is sucking their soul. It is sucking their spirit. There are gifts of people in the church that are being drained, that are being swallowed, that are being stolen, that are being conjured by Pastor Anosike. He is the werewolf in the flesh. When he screams and he utters his words, he is calling the demons and the spirits to come upon the church. And when the church start doing, they roll their eyes and they fall and they come out all foam over their mouth. And you think that is power. With his chaos, God is not there. He is taking from you, sister. He is taking from you, my brother. There is energy that he is sucking from you to become flesh. So I would like God to open the eyes of those who do go to his church. I would like, remember, we cannot blame God. He did say that he is going to give these people the rights. They know that it's their time. They know, these false prophets, that it is their time. That is why they're not bothered. They know. It is written. It has been predestined that there will be a time where the dragon will run the church. The dragon will be permitted to rule, to ruin. But they that have ears, listen. So I really hope that you've heard this prophecy or vision. God is speaking. God is no fool. God is no fool. Listen, church of God, listen. If somebody speaks and if whatever is said is being released from heaven, do not refuse it. and refuse to become a part of a demonic ministry. Refuse to allow yourself to be gullible to the devil. Refuse yourself to be gullible to his throne. So, he who has ears, listen. This is the vision that God had shown me. I prayed over it. And I prayed, God, should I release it? And indeed, the Spirit of the living God